Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Yamez here with Island Metal Forge. Uh, I got a bit of a interesting kind of show today. It's all hodgepodge and all over the place a little bit this morning. I do know that Sully is here, as you can see in the video. He is out of his truck right now and will be back soon. Uh, but yes, let's see. Good morning there, Trail Dust, Paul Orchard, uh, Michael Hayes, Mick Chu, Bortagov, uh, Rusty Hubcap Ford. What up, brother? Poppy, Metal Blueberries. How you doing? Robert Lonis, member. Curtis Lee, Robert Whitney. What's up, everybody? Yeah. Um, so, uh, hard to start without I'm talking to you guys. I don't really it's I'll end up having to repeat what's going on in my day when what's been going on when Sully gets back. So um just kind of chat with you guys for a minute. uh Aimless Adventures, good morning, guys. Thanks the other day for the help. Inspection is tomorrow. We'll see if I did it right. I'm sure you did it right. uh we have a random Ryan appearing. uh But yeah. So speaking of that inspection thing, I actually had the digging crew over at my place, and they finally put the underground wire for my shop, or not for my shop, for the property. It's not hooked up yet, but we've got it there, and so neat and fun. But let's see. Yep, everybody in the chat was saying, hey. It's like Sully is getting set up, and once he gets the earplug things in, and gives me a thumbs up, I can unmute, but no rush. We'll sit and watch you get all situated in your truck, big old rig mover, and you got Ryan's goofy sunglasses. They can hear me, but we can't hear them just yet. But yeah, my week has been, as usual, busy with work, um, and just kind of trying to keep up with it all. Outside, after work, I've been working a lot on, out in the shop, not a whole ton, more than I have been. And yep, there's the unmute. All right.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now. But yeah,
All right.
my week has been pretty busy setting up for stuff for this weekend. The hammer that I was working on last week,
I got it.
unfortunately, I didn't get much time to continue it. I did get it ground down, um, and today, after for the show, probably I'll start with heating it up, and I've got to do some file work on it to clean up the uh, what's it called? Can't camphor the edges of the eye so that when I put the handle on, which is in the mail. It should be coming. It should be here, either today or Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. Mail's been running slow again, and then I'll get that hammer handled, finished, and good. But today, during the show, during tonight's show, I will be giving it life and heat treating. You know, um, other than that, just been work. I actually work, yeah. 7 day week, everybody.
Well, I'd gladly trade you. I only work 2 days this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, 49 hours, 2 days.
Yeah. I'd love to get overtime in 2 days, and then
No, you wouldn't. No, no, you wouldn't. You couldn't handle it.
I could if I knew that I could get a full week's pay in 2 days and then have 5 days to chillax. I'd be happy. I would bust my hump for 2 days, and then the day before, the day after would be like nobody talk to me, nobody say anything. I am going to be in a vegetative state in my bed, and then it would be the rest of the time would be like doing whatever I wanted.
Right. Well, I mean, yesterday was 16 hours. So that's not so bad. But the 33-hour day back on Tuesday, whoo, that was rough. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
yeah. Hubcap. Yeah, I had a lot of attic work this week. Of course, we had 100-degree temperatures, and I think 2.5 of the days this week were like all attic work. Like get up there, do about 15, 20 minutes, and then get out. You know, stick your head in an air conditioning vent. You know, just but yeah, sweating my butt off for no reason. What's up, Danimals? But aside from the 2-day work week, how was your week?
It wasn't too bad. I didn't get a whole lot of anything done. So there's that. Put your cup there, right there in the middle. That's where it was. I had it right here. The hell are you talking about? Yeah, I know. What about? You didn't know it? No.
Random non sequiturs from Ryan. Didn't we tell
Yeah,
him?
yeah, no. Ryan started complaining at me for something. And I'm like, what the heck?
Didn't we tell him he has to zip his lip during the show?
Right, right, right. But anyways, yeah, no, I really didn't accomplish. Oh, well, you know what I did accomplish? I got completely caught up on uploading podcast episodes. So just this morning, I finally got edited and uploaded Excessive Perfection. So that is up and ready to go. And now I'm current. And
Yep.
so
So this
that's been
episode,
that's
so this
yeah,
episode will be Wednesday's upload,
correct.
and that
Now
is
now
where
that
we
I'm
want to
all
be.
caught up. Yeah, now that I'm all caught up, it'll be a lot easier. But I started this whole endeavor like 5 episodes behind. So
Yeah. Well, technically, we had been discussing this
okay,
thing for.
yeah, don't even get into the last year of episodes.
I want all of those episodes, the entire last year, on my desk by Monday.
Well, then you're gonna have to find somebody new. I quit.
Oh no, it's all good. Yep, we got the backup episodes from the past year in case we have a dud week. You know.
Hey, there you go. I could always fish out an oldie but goodie when we crap the bed on a day.
Yeah, yeah, like a day where like you're out in the field and you can't get a signal to be on the show, and Speargrass has to work, and I'm just here going, we're just going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Yeah.
I don't have a topic. What's going on in the chat?
I make up topics. I'll be like, we're going to talk about uh, Flux and its merits as a mixer. Don't do that.
Today we'd like to discuss the merits of Gary Larson and the Far Side.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
um, let's Sully, 49 hours in 2 days it's magic. Yep. Yes, don't forget to push that like button. All right.
what's how how far north of?
But yeah, so um, it's going to be, we've had a crazy hot
No. How
week.
far north on 385? 2.5. Okay.
We've had a crazy hot week, but today it's actually really cool. I woke up to 66 degrees, which was beautiful compared to 100 degrees that we've had in the past, and like the past week. So I have a feeling today I
Grab the
am going
cup
to be
holder.
super productive in the shop, and get out there and kind of. I think I may take the opportunity to clean up a bit because the stuff that I do want to forge would be really good for the show. So might as well wait and do it during the show. You all getting ready for the pulling up on the site?
No. I'm trying to find my cup holder. There it is. The insert in the cup holder is removable, and my tea glass doesn't fit in the cup holder, so I pop it out, and the tea glass just fits down in the console where the cup holder goes. Well, this cup of coffee just falls right through down to the bottom of the floor. So yeah, that's why my bottle.
So
anyways, yeah.
Making your swamper find your cup holder.
Right. I knew it was down here on the floor or something because I'm the only one that ever takes them out of these trucks. And, well, I'm pretty much the only one that drives these two black ones. But
right.
I knew where I left it, so.
Right on. Yeah. The voice that you're hearing in the background that is very garbled, everybody, is Sully's swamper, Ryan. Ryan is most well known for having the nickname of Paper Hands. But he can't hear me, so we're not going to go into that. But anyway, he'll hear it when he listens to the podcast. Love you, Ryan. Right? But ooh, good idea. Trail Dust brings up a new topic or a new show idea. And here's how it would go. You would have Ryan driving, and then you, because we could see the bed of your truck perfectly, and you standing in the bed of the truck forging.
Yeah, no.
Oh, that would be great. But yeah, so forging on the move, love it. I do know that you've brought up, and I know it's not really it's not really the topic or nothing, but I know that you have brought up that you've had some jobs where you're there for so long, you wish you could bring an anvil and forge and kind of sit outside your truck and just make things because you'll be on site for hours.
Well, that's typical because there are sometimes I go out on a job and I'm there for a day, and I mean, like when I say a day, I mean 24 hours, and I'm waiting to do one thing, or I'll go out there and I'll set 4 or 5 pieces in the last four or 5 pieces, and then it's wait on them guys to set the very last one, and that is sometimes 5, 6, 7 hours between setting the next to the last piece and setting the last piece. And so I'd mentioned that it might be cool to have just a slide out anvil and forge on the side of the truck, and I could just just pull off the side of location, start heating and beating. But logistically speaking, that's fairly difficult to pull off.
Well, I know once we get the capital, we can do something like that. That was our. What's up, Wayne? I didn't hear any of what you said, so.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. But yeah, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Hope everyone is well. How you do, Wayne? Thank you. I'm not thinking. I'm a lizard man. I have lizard babies. Scale babies. It's like everybody that calls their dogs and furry animal pets, and everybody that calls them like they're my fur babies. They always get so like offended when I call call actual babies skin dogs. I don't.
Are you talking about crotch goblins?
Yeah. All right. Hubcap's tired of listening to us banter. He doesn't care about any of this. He just wants to hear everything he can about treadle hammers. He's like, what about
All right.
treadles? So
Or Treadle.
treadle. Is it treadle or treadle?
It's Treadle.
Because
Unless you're English, and then it's Treadle.
all right. Well,
But, you know, you're a young man.
triaddle, triaddle, triaddle hammer.
You can just pronounce it however you like.
Yeah, triaddle hammers. Well, happy birthday, Danimals. Or happy
Kind of like
future
what's that
birthday,
one that you mispronounce all the time that just gets under my skin?
Palakin.
Huh?
Palakin.
No. I can't remember what it is. It'll come to me. But
Yeah, just like Robert Lonus's name, his Ford's name is Triaddle Shed. But yeah, so all right, we can talk about pronunciation all day, like aluminium, aluminum, but we'd really need either
it
penny,
matters not. We know what you're talking about, so that's all that really matters.
yeah, we would either need Penny Brown on the show or Adam from Speargrass Forge. We would need him. It would be funny to have both of them just going after us. It would be like a 2v2 about aluminium versus aluminum. But triaddle hammers. Okay, yes, triaddle hammers. Triaddle hammer is a tool. It's a complex tool in a blacksmith shop. I couldn't give you the age of how old it's been. I mean, really, if you think about it, some of the stuff that we consider modern, uh, you look at some ancient Chinese smiths and ancient, smiths out there, and they got like water and wind wheels, moving large hammers, and spring, like all this kind of stuff. So, but a treadle hammer is in my opinion, it is a uh, kind of the halfway point between hand hammering and a power hammer, you know. So aluminium, nom, nom, nom. But yeah, it's basically a mechanism where you can hammer something without using a hammer hand. So you're using your foot, typically using your foot or leg power. You pop down on a treadle like a sewing machine treadle or just a simple, 1-to-1 ratio force, and it allows you to hold a piece and hold a tool and work it and do what you need to do. Or if it's a larger piece that you need to move, uh, say you're working some large steel, and you hold it down with two hands because it's heavy, and you pump your legs like a crazy person and work the hammer. There are a lot of different styles for it. I've seen like inline uh, treadle hammers where it's basically, it's a stand-up frame and the hammer, like you hit it and then you hit it and the mechanism just brings it down like that as it hits, just maybe a little forward motion. Um, I've seen it everywhere, to Roy's new design, which I have invited him here. He will be here in a little bit. So he'll talk more about that in depth as opposed to last week where we were just joking about it. But uh, the design where it's basically like Hubcap says, a sledgehammer on a spring. It's a frame that holds a sledgehammer or some form of a hammer head on a stick, and using springs and springs, pulleys, hinges.
Left or right?
You hit it and boom, boom, boom.
Right. Sorry, right.
And the purpose of it really is important. It's a great hands-free tool where if you don't have the budget or you don't have the uh, power, like if you're an unpowered shop, to use a hands-free tooling. Morning, Jeff. Uh, so yeah, it's I would like one. A lot of people have told me that I really need to get one and really need to build one. They'd like to see me have one. I have always been under the impression that it would be rough on the knees. I have really bad knees, uh, and every time I've ever seen one working, it's like the blacksmith is pumping crazy, and it's like, yeah, I couldn't do that. Until I've seen a few where it's literally just a foot motion, and it strikes with power. And then Roy with his new air assisted uh, treadle hammer, which again he'll talk about when he gets here. So
Right. And I mean, like, I would tell you my treadle hammer story, but I know everybody's seen the videos that the horrible videos that I did like 3 or 4 years ago. So there's no need for me to even go into that. So,
aw. uh,
Uh,
you need to go to, you know what? Yeah, I think for those who haven't seen it, you should kind of tell the story about your treadle hammer. Because
so,
I saw it and I was going to build it until you told me, man. Hey, Tim.
so back when I first started, and I mean, this is like early on, like first 6 months or something like that, whaling away on a Harbor Freight anvil, and I decided I had this old, I think it's a Harbor Freight or a Northern Tool cheap hydraulic 20-ton press, H-frame press,
Yeah.
and it was completely useless for forging because it's so slow, and I really had no use for a press, anyways, because the shop's got a big one inside. Well, I did at the time, and so 2.2 left. 2.3, okay, and
Hey, Ice
then
Knives.
3, 4, 6. Okay. And then, anyway, sorry. So I looked at that forge for that hydraulic press, and I was like, wonder if I can make a treadle hammer out of this. That might work. And so I just like scabbed together with a sledgehammer off my truck and some other parts that I had laying around. All of it scrap. Every bit of it was just stuff I had laying around. And I scabbed together a working treadle hammer with a like 16-pound sledgehammer on the end of it. And I mean, it was functional and it would move metal. I mean, albeit I had a Harbor Freight anvil underneath it, but the only problem is it was very rickety. I mean, it was because it was pretty far out there, and so it wasn't accurate whatsoever. I mean, if I got using my leg to pump it because I had some pretty stiff springs on there, it would wear me out in like one heat, and I'd be like, "Ooh, my legs are burning." But yeah, it was a very interesting experiment with what can I do with what I have laying around, and I came up with a treadle hammer. I used it like twice to do the video, and then it sat there up against the wall for like 3 months until I loaded it up and hauled it over to the scrap metal bin and threw it away.
I mean, I'm sure using your design, it can be improved on to give some lever action to reduce the uh, strain on the leg, you know.
Yeah,
And I'm sure you could have had a guide put up to make it a little bit more accurate. As you said, it was rickety, some reinforcements and some guides. So still a good base to work with if that's all you have. Uh, Michael Robertson, hello. Tim, yep, says his leg's doing better. Treadle hammers are great. I love mine. Yeah, I'd like to get one, but it's like the more I'm learning about them, the more I'm thinking, you know
this
what?
it or
Yeah. But before all that, it was really like I thought that like Sully, it was just wear and tear on the legs, and
your back
I
then.
do everything I can to not wear and tear on my legs.
I'd like to. If I were to transfer instead of making it like in a line like that, I wonder if you were able to make it inline, like straight vertical, would it still be a treadle hammer?
Yeah, because if you're using a treadle to power it, Treadle, sorry, Treadle. I mean, I know that Ray Klontz and the Clay Spencer Tire Hammer people, they also have a treadle hammer plans, and if I recall, it is not a uh, the sledgehammer, sledgehammer treadle hammer. It is an inline treadle hammer, you know. So it is possible. It's like I said, there's several different designs and several different uh, you know options and abilities.
Right, right.
But again, the two main uses that I see for it would be a if you don't have a power hammer and you're working something really large and need to hold it with both hands, you can boom boom boom. Or if you are doing something a little more intricate, uh, like I see John Switzer from Black Bear Forge, he'll put a stopper, keep it from going all the way down, and he'll chisel, hold the piece and turn the piece while chiseling, keeping the chisel straight and moving the piece.
Oh,
You know, uh, there you go, Robert. Yeah, Robert Lona says Blacksmith Depot sells a great inline treadle hammer for $2,000. You know, uh, I do know I'm excited to hear more about Roy's design now, um, because he's making available an affordable kit, and and I believe next month. I don't want to set him on a time frame. He was saying something hopefully next month once all the parts come in. Uh, uh, the air assist where you just basically you're hitting it and it goes pss, 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 you know think treadmill.
that's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, yeah, I know that once I get the money saved up, probably after quad state, uh I'll be purchasing the Roy plans or the Roy kit, uh, because it mounts to the wall of the shop, I believe, and I have a metal building that is nice and secure. So it might be pretty nice to have that, bolted to the wall of my shop. uh, Paul Fontanini, Abana sells the plans for the inline True Hammer. Yeah, you can get the plans all over the place and build it yourself, uh, or you can go to a dealer and buy one, or you can, like I said, there's so many uh, possibilities. Like that's what's cool about
And
this.
I've always, like I built that when I built that press out of, or that when I built that press out of a power up. Well, I'm just going to get it wrong every which way I say it.
Yeah,
When I built that treadle hammer out of the press frame, I'm sure I could have found like designs to do that online, and if I'd have just done a little bit of research. But it was totally all about like off the top of my head, not going to watch any video on it, not going to, nothing. I didn't watch a video. I didn't
you,
look up any plans. I just looked at what I had and went,
you were all about that original thought.
yeah. And
You know,
that was what was fun, because it wasn't really about the end product as much as the journey. And then I had a treadle hammer that I didn't really care to use. So, in hindsight, I probably should have kept it.
right, right. I mean, yeah, because like I said, even with your design, there are modifications that can be done to improve. You can always improve on something. You know,
Right.
as we discussed last week with excessive perfection, you could always improve as you learn more, as you get used to it. Like, oh, these springs are too tight. Let me, we can use, or no, I'd rather, do this, or I'd rather do that. You know, but Hubcat Forge, yeah, Tim, turn a stairmaster into a hammer. That's Tim's next design project. That would be awesome. Uh, but yeah, get your exercise while you're forging something. As you're climbing the stairs, you but yeah. Now, see, I like I like tools that you can have a bit of control of, you know. Uh, and the treadle hammers that I've seen, you can put a stop in there uh, to control the depth. Like if you're doing up the chiseling, doing chiseling like John Switzer uses for his treadle hammer. He's got to stop and like say he wants the chisel to only go in like 1 millimeter, you know, or how's it they pronounce it, 1 millimeter. Um, like he can get it all measured and set the stop and then sit there and boom, 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 and every single chisel mark was exactly the same, perfect, you know. Christ-centered ironworks. Just finishing up my breakfast and I'll be in the call soon. Right on. Uh, uh, Tim, the air assist that we were talking about with Roy's uh, design, and he'll pop in and he'll go into more detail about it. It is still foot controlled. It is only air assisted, to where he can describe his the action, but you're still moving it with your foot. The air just helps give it an even hit every time. It's an air assist, not air. It's not like you push it down and it goes. You know, basically using air pistons as opposed to springs, or in conjunction with springs, I believe is how he's got it planned. It's a really neat little design. Wayne is out. Adios, Wayne. Yeah, again, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And Sully's walking around. Adios, Hubcap. Hey, Aaron, is that so you guys with the little girl legs? Yeah, exactly. It's so that that's what the little girl legs can work too. I got a torn meniscus in my left knee, and it feels like the right knee is starting to have one. But either way, if I favor the right knee too much, you know, it's just air assist would be nice, but uh, and I don't know if it's capable or able to be done, but it would be pretty cool if Roy's system and design would have the option to turn the air assist on and off. Again, for that, like if I can add a stop to it, to just hit a certain depth, so to speak, and if the air assist would screw with that and turn it off, and just have pure foot power, you know, or say your air compressor is acting up, you're like, screw it, turn it off. But yeah, he'll be in soon to discuss it.
So, Yamas, have you ever like what's the word I'm looking for? Spent a great deal of time on a treadle hammer, like
No,
maybe at the guild or
no,
anything? No.
no. Our guild doesn't have a treadle hammer. Um,
Well, I know you didn't have one, and I was just trying to think of other
yeah,
places you might have been that may have had one.
I've never.
Because I know the places we've been don't have one. So
Yeah, I've never used a treadle hammer, and my impression of a treadle hammer is just what I've seen. And what I've seen is blacksmiths pumping their legs like a crazy person.
right. No,
Treadle.
and to be fair, to be fair,
To be
to be
fair.
fair, see there was that pause with nothing. Anyways, I in my rendition of a treadle hammer, Yeah, you're pumping your leg like a crazy person, and I remember thinking, "Whoo, boy, I'm gonna have to get in shape if I'm gonna use this thing." And then I thought, "Nah, I'm throwing it away."
Never skip leg day. But yeah, so my initial impressions of the past couple of years have been apparently totally wrong, which is why I'm kind of bringing this up as a topic because uh, in the past several months I have seen more designs and I've looked a little bit more into it, and people have told me no, it's not that bad. It's not too killer on the knee, um, and uh, so I am looking more into it. And I've been looking at those inline treadle, and and then coincidentally with all that, Roy has brought up his thing, and I'm not going to say that this is a paid advertisement or anything, um, but uh, but yeah, it's like I'm all for blacksmith kits and uh, exactly true. It's a mechanical advantage. One reason that I have kind of not really severely looked into treadle hammers for my shop is because I have a power hammer. The other two things that I would like to get that in my mind kind of take precedence over a treadle hammer would be a fly press and or a shop press, a forging press. Uh, and I feel that I can get more done with those than a treadle hammer. But again, as I've said, the more I've looked into them, the more useful they look. Uh, so, you know, hence, hence the show. Uh, and but yeah, I'm still kind of researching price points and styles to try and find one that would best fit me. Oh, sounds like we've got a guest popping. That was that little. uh,
You all hear me?
we do hear you, and here we have Roy with Price on Line Works. I have a little.
I've arrived.
Now, can we officially start the infomercial?
Yeah. So this
Yes.
this topic now turns into a paid advertising program infomercial from CCI. And by the way, thanks for the $10,000 for this. And
Yeah, checks in the mail.
yeah. So
Well, I'll try not to shill it too much today.
it's less of shilling the product and more of telling us about your design. I mean, there's no lie that or there's no hiding the fact that this is a design that you have been working on and have kind of engineered to be a simple and effective tool.
Yeah. 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 So with the treadle hammer design that I'm working with, that I have designed. My biggest problem with treadle hammers is something that you went over earlier in the stream when I was lurking, and that is, wearing out your knees, hip joints, things like that, because of such a long stroke, you really get your exercise.
Yeah, the 1-to-1.
Yeah, the 1-to-1. And the way that I designed my hammer is I took a lot of inspiration from what they used to call Oliver hammer. People can look that up. And in the Oliver hammer, although mine's not the same exact thing, the Oliver hammer, I'm using the same principle of physics that they're using there, and that is using a cam for extra leverage. And so what that does is that multiplies the force that you apply with your foot on the foot treadle, and that helps pull the hammer down faster, and therefore you get a harder hit out of it. And so with that, you have to combine that with a good balance on your springs. Most of the treadle hammers that I have seen in the, I guess, relatively short time I've been doing this industry is that, they're either super convoluted, which is very easy to do to take care of that issue, that balance issue, or they say, well, tough it out. That's kind of what it is, right? You've got like 9 big garage door springs, on the treadle itself, trying to hold up a big, 55-pound or 75-pound head up in the air. And by the time you actually get it swinging and your legs doing the work, you're wore out and you're getting about as much work done as you could have got done with an 8-pound sledge swinging much faster and more efficiently. And so, with all that being said, the heavier and the larger you make things, the more complex the framing work has to be done. And I've taken some cues off of what I've learned over selling all my various power hammer plans and treadle hammer plans and things like that, the different plans I've offered, digital downloads, is a lot of people, after even purchase the plans, are like, oh, well, could I bolt this together? Well, I don't have a welder. I don't have this. And so when I designed this kit, I wanted to make it completely weld free. So there's zero anything that you have to weld with this. It completely bolts together. It comes with all the parts and pieces and fittings needed. The only thing that you have to provide is 2 wrenches and a drill bit to drill the holes in your stud for your bolts to go through. Yeah. So it's a pretty fast and effective way of doing things. And then one of the other things, part of my design process, is I was thinking, okay, I need to make a bottom die, right? If I'm swinging this thing, I need to make this bottom die, and I need to figure out something for the kit so this way we can have a post. And, well, what if they're on a concrete shop floor, or what if they're on dirt? And I was trying to engineer all this, trying to think this all out so I could create a completely well-rounded kit. That way it would fit most of everybody's situations. And then it struck me, the concept struck me, most people have small shops, and most people don't have a lot of space, and generally speaking, a lot of treadle hammers take up a ton of space, floor room. Just like power hammers or anything else. You got a picture going?
Yeah, I searched Oliver hammer.
Uh-huh.
It's a treadle hammer. It's a style of treadle hammer.
Yeah. I'll have to see if I can pop on Discord and see if you're sharing it there.
I put it on. I'll share it on Discord.
Okay. Well, I can't see it myself, so.
So question. So, serious question. So my shop is a small shop. But there's not a stick of wood in it. It's built out of 2 3/8 pipe and then galvanized tin on the outside. So in order for like ease of attachment, I would first have to attach a 2x4 to one of my 2 3/8 uprights, I would imagine, or my 2 7/8 uprights, or whatever they are. So I would first need to attach a 2x4, and then I would be able to just slap that sucker right on without any like further effort. Correct?
Yeah, or you can attach it to what stud you have there, and you may have to just adapt it a bit with some spacers, or some extra, some extra plate or something like that. To squeeze the hammer tighter. So if your stud that you would attach it to is a wider stud than the 1 7/8 that a dimensional 2x4 is these days, you might have to add something additional around your sledgehammer handle so it could squeeze that. That's the critical measurement.
My uprights, I believe, are 3-inch outside diameter, or something to that effect. So
okay. So you would want to. Yeah, you would want to install. Are they steel or are they wood?
No, they're steel. Yeah,
you could even weld something to that too, as well, if you wanted to use a welder.
Yeah, my whole shop is steel, and then they took and they put insulation in between or up against the wall, and then they drilled holes in the pipe, and then screwed sheetrock straight to the pipe over the insulation.
I got you.
That was not the best plan because the sheetrock is, I mean, it's been there since the 1980s, so it's all like bowed. But and if you breathe on it wrong, a whole section of sheetrock will fall off. But one of these days, I'm gonna have to redo all that. But in the meantime, I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait. I got 2 more years till the house is paid off, and at that point, then I can do all the modifications I want to it.
You were tricky with your website. I can't download the picture of your Treadle hammer and post it because it's a weird thing for your website. So I'm gonna have to screen share it.
Yeah. We do that so this way Alibaba doesn't knock us off before we even get out there and get the exposure. So
if you guys give me a moment, not you guys keep talking. But,
okay. But yeah, so it's kind of one of those things like we're launching it, you can't be secret, but then again, you have to be somewhat secret with pictures and this and that, what have you. Just because there's a whole lot of people like, oh, I'll just make that myself. And, they'll take a good thing and spoil it because they're busy ripping you off and trying to do whatever. Nothing's new about making a treadle hammer. Smiths have been doing that for, longer than I was ever a dream, right? And people will continue to just keep taking designs and adapting them and making them fit and work, and I'm all for that. But I'm not into having somebody competing with people in India that could sell it for $150 on Alibaba,
when you get
sell a cruddy kit that has nowhere close to the sturdiness that I'm offering. So
yeah,
kind of like when you get that messenger message or whatever that says you need treadle hammer, we do good hot work.
Yeah. So this is a pretty cool design here. Bolts to your existing structure, or you could put your own post up. I'm looking at it on the thing. Yeah. And looks like on the bracket you have basically 3 options of where you can set the height.
Yep. So so that's the other design thing. So if I'll talk about all the different things that I put into this, and there's a lot of thought and a lot of forethought that was put into this, and a couple happy little accidents that worked out too, that helped me out in my designs there. But basically, most of the problems that come with people have complaints about a swing arm treadle hammer style is that it hits at a tangent. So a sledgehammer, specifically a sledgehammer treadle hammer, is that it's attached by one point, usually by the end of the handle, the hammer handle, and it swings in an arc. So it never hits squarely. And that gets worse the taller and taller tooling you put underneath it, or the larger and larger stock, you get a larger and larger degree of taper on whatever it is that you're hitting.
Yeah.
And so my way around that is to move that point in which, to move that fulcrum point up. So to be able to make you to have that adjustability to be able to move the fulcrum point up. I didn't want that to become super convoluted, so I just made it to where it's easily as pulling a pin out and moving it up and selecting your next highest height.
Yeah, loosening the tension on the spring and lifting it up.
Yep, exactly. And then the chains, thoughts behind the chains.
It's not quick change by any means. Like you still have to, work it a bit. But like, if you were to move to some sort of a slide thing, then you'd have issues with, it moving on its own.
Yeah. So the thoughts. It's not a quick change. It's about as quick as you can, right?
Yeah.
It's about as quick as you can. So if you've got a lot of drift work that you're doing through hammer eyes, and you need a sledgehammer help for that, you just set it up in the higher position, right? You set it up in your drifting position, if you want to call it that,
Sure.
Where the hammer can hit a lot higher. and you can set it and adapt it for your specific work that way. Or if you're going to be drawing out a bunch of little tapers on the end of fire pokers or something, you can set it way down in the bottom position and get that arc.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing that I was thinking when you were saying, "Oh, it creates these tapers." It's like, you know what? That could be used to your advantage if you have if say you're taking and you got like, you know, a dozen, 3/4 inch bars that you need to taper all exactly the same. You could, tick your marks on it to where you want to start and finish, and then set the taper, and then boom, 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 like no thought tapers. I mean, it's still physical work, but
could help out. Yeah,
it just removes that one aspect of.
Well, and as Roy alluded to earlier, one of the main reasons that I built that. I went over earlier why I built it, but the main reason I threw it away is because at the end of the day, it's all about work and then results. And I was having to work harder to do the same amount of work with the treadle hammer than I could do with a hand hammer. So like, to draw out a certain piece this far.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not your. I mean, this is the monstrosity that I just created out of scrap metal. By the time it was all in the spring tension. That I see that now. But I mean, to do the same thing, it was less work to use a hand hammer, even a 2.5 pound whatever hammer. It was less work to do that than it was to do it with a treadle hammer. And then so it just never got used because I'd getting something hot and I'd look over at it and I'm like, nah, I'm not interested in getting that wore out today.
Yeah, so Big Dog brings up that's not the pneumatic model, or that's the base model. And then, do you have any pictures of your pneumatic prototype that you can share?
So I don't have it. I don't have any pictures of that yet. Basically it's the same hammer. It's the same kit, but I'm going to be providing an air cylinder that basically it drops right in. So where the chain linkage is right now, basically you'll pin the air cylinder in where that chain linkage is at, and there's an additional bracket that'll be installed on your 2x4, and then it's air assist. And you can work either the treadle hammer or you can work the air assist.
Okay, so the air piston
there's
pulls
no
the
changing over. What's that?
So the air piston, you hit the little air pedal and it pulls the chain, or you can hit the wood bar. It is an either or depending on the situation.
It actually pins into the hammer itself where the chain pins in at. So you're not yanking on the chain, you're yanking at the same
pivot point.
At the same pivot point. Yeah. And the air cylinder is a single acting. It's a double acting air cylinder because those are actually cheaper than buying a single acting cylinder. I don't know why. They just are. They're more common. And so the single action is on the pull stroke. And when I offer that, it's coming all together as a kit. So everything will be plumbed and all that good stuff. All you have to do is, use a 3/8 air hose to hook up with a quick connect, and you're air assisting. It literally takes 5 minutes to install the bracket, drilling the extra brackets, and that will have the rear bracket for where the air cylinder will since we have the adjustability on the treadle, right? We need to have adjustability with the air cylinder as well. Yeah. It's basically a miniature of what that upper bracket is at the fulcrum point.
Hey, Steven, how you doing? So yeah, you created so you basically created another step, like whereas a treadle hammer itself, in and of itself, is the step from hand hammering to power hammer. You kind of went like half a step to a power hammer. It's a hybrid.
And
as Tim says, it's a hybrid.
Yep, exactly, Tim. It's a hybrid. It's an in-between step. And, the great thing about this, and I hope people understand this, that I'm trying to offer this for as cheap as possible, which is very hard to do right now with the prices the way they are. on steel, I'm trying to offer this for sub $1,000, right? And I'm going even further, trying to offer it sub $750 with free shipping, right? To, the US of A here. And so that, like, there's nothing that exists at that level, period.
Yeah.
There's nothing that exists unless you find just a good bargain somewhere from somebody who's getting out of it, maybe. Maybe the old man croaked and the wife is selling off stuff and she didn't know what she had, right?
But
I've heard a bunch
definitely,
of those stories over the years, but you're not going to get something that's manufactured.
yeah,
It needs nothing. You just bolt it together for
exactly.
under $700. So, that's the goal, right? I do make a little bit of money. I've got to feed myself and Thomas now. I've pulled another guy in the shop and stuff. So, I've got to make a little bit of money on top, but the margins are tight. And I'm purposely doing that because I want this to be a thing. I want it to help fund future endeavors to bring that cost of entry into power equipment overall down, because we have a lot of retirees that just can't handle, swinging a hammer all day for 8 hours a day, or even the 4-hour session that they get on the weekend, right? We have disabled people who can't handle, standing for long lengths of time and crazy stuff like that, right? And I've always been thinking, like, how this is a problem that should be solved in our industry. Not, well, if you can't pay to play the game, oh well.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of left behind. And I know this ain't cheap, but I mean, it's as cheap as it can get.
it follows that Uncle Buck's theory. Make blacksmithing affordable. Make the tooling affordable. Like, when I first got started, I still do. He made the kits, and you could either buy it pre-made or the kit. And while at first I didn't have a welder, so I'm like, I can't really do much, and then I got a welder, but it's like, okay, finding plate steel and cutting it out specifically to, the size that I need and all of that, I didn't really get it. I couldn't do it at that time. So these pre-cut kits where somebody else would be like, I can cut one of those out easy, or I know a guy, I can get that cut out easy. Why would I buy it, Great for beginners. Great for people who don't have every resource at their fingertip. Same thing with your stuff, which as I believe all of this got started because Uncle Bucks had to close shop and you basically took over his pre-cut or his cutout designs.
So on the guillotine tools
he's
and
not
stuff.
Talking about you, big dog.
On the guillotine tool designs and stuff, Uncle Buck gave me all his cut files for all of his previous tools, and things like that. And so I'm going to be releasing some of his things as soon as I can get his files to work with my computer setup. I had to adapt. I already had some Uncle Buck's Forge. I had his guillotine tools in my shop, so basically I just took the measurements off of those and just recreated them, basically, is what I did there. But he gave me permission to use his stuff since he retired in doing that. And, so that's how that relationship got started there. But yeah, Uncle Buck's Forge is awesome. So, but yeah. And so I'll have some of his other stuff. I think he had tong racks, and he had a whole slew of different things. Eventually, I hope to offer all that stuff again. For very similar prices, although he did have a stellar deal on steel at the time. he was getting it for really cheap.
Scrap prices, I think, is what he said.
So cheap you would think it was free.
Let's not go getting anybody in trouble now.
Right.
Unfortunately, none of my suppliers for steel have any sort of good deals like that for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm honestly glad that that you should be able to offer some of those things in the future, because when he was closing up shop, and I mean, I know, like, was it last year or whatever, when I was there, I was like, oh, well, never going to get a chance to get any of this stuff again, so I got to get it now.
Mm-hmm.
And I wound up loading up my daughter's car with so much stuff. I got it. I did transfer the weight accordingly. With so much stuff on the front floorboard, a pexo plate laid across the back seat. Holland anvil in the back. But I hadn't. When I showed up, I hadn't intended to buy really anything. And then, it turns out that Uncle Bucks was shutting her down. And I was like, uh-oh, I'm going to have to get some of this
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm really excited to see if you get those hammer and tong uh, rack plates, the roundish plates, because and then the ones that are because those I got two of those, and they are a unique addition to the shop. One of them is my main hammer and tong rack, and the other one I built a oxyacetylene rack with the gas saver on it, and basically I just drag that to where I'm working, and I can have all my oxyacetylene, tips and tools and everything, lining around it, and boom, just a little oxyacetylene setup.
Or the whole that whole rolling post vise stand,
The post vice
with the
stand,
rack on
yeah,
it.
Mm-hmm.
Those things, I swear, he would unload one and it'd be sold
it'd be,
he'd only bring one, he'd unload it and it'd be sold in 5 minutes.
I was never able to get one, and I've always wanted one. Two. I want one for my
Yeah.
shop and one for my truck.
Yeah, he had a lot of good stuff, that's for sure. So,
Yeah.
I think he still has a lot of stuff. Well, I don't know if he does or not, but he was saying that he still had some stuff, to take to quad state.
Yep.
So hopefully he might still have some extras of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, be able to do that and get them all bought out there. So yeah, so the treadle hammer kit, that's basically it in a nutshell. It's a kit. You bolt it together.
Yeah.
It should go on your 2x4 in your shop, so it's space saving. In the build video on it, I showcase how you can stow the treadle hammer up in the upright position out of the way.
Which is
so you could
important.
just go back to using, so you could go back to using your regular hand hammer on your anvil. Again, adapted. If you don't have a spare anvil, you could use this with your anvil in your shop.
Just set the height.
Your main anvil and be able to move it out of the way. Yeah, and you just have to adjust the height to do so. So that adaptability, is great. And I also I'll mention this, the air assist. My goal is to have that fully fleshed out and ready to go by the end of this month, the beginning of the new month. So 1st of July, I should have that launched. And, it's obviously backwards compatible with anybody who has already purchased a treadle hammer kit, and it's forwards compatible as well going forward, and it all ships to you in the same box. So,
you will also sell I'm assuming the air assist kit separately.
Yep.
If say I can't really spring for the whole thing, and let's say, oh, well, let me get the hammer kit first, and then wait a couple months till I get financially back, and then I could theoretically buy the air assist kit to add to it later.
Yep, that's right. So they will be listed together as a whole option, a whole package, and then it'll be split apart. So say even if you just wanted to buy it, say maybe you already have a treadle hammer at home. Now I can't guarantee that it'll fit your or whatever design you have going on there. But say you're like, hey, I need to pick up an air assist system that works. It'll be there available for purchase as well. So it will be adaptable. I'm hoping it to be a resource is what I'm trying to do. So
it's pronounced modular.
Modular, yeah, it's a modular design.
It's pronounced modular. Hey, Speargrass.
Yeah.
Stephen Parsons actually asked, "What's quad state?" And quad state in a nutshell is it's a perfect place both in time and space. It is a mindset. It is
It's a way of thinking.
rusty. It is a rusty steel heaven. Okay. Quad State in reality, it's actually a Southern Ohio Forge and Anvil or annual blacksmithing roundup Quad State. You know, and it's in Troy, Ohio. Yeah, Troy, Ohio, and every year it is a ton of blacksmiths get together, and they got vendors, they got auctions, they got table sales, or tailgating sales, they got demonstrate. Did I say demonstrations? Yeah, I said demonstrations. All sorts of things. Like food vendors. You got after when there's nothing going, you got everybody just setting up their anvils and forges around their tents and just kind of, it's a blacksmith's party every year in September, and people come from miles and miles and miles and miles and miles.
People come from all over the world.
And speaking of which, Big Dog just showed up in the chat, and he has shown up there. He drove all the way from the left coast or the west coast. Hi, Tim.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh, Tim's here.
Yeah, that's what I said. Tim's here.
Do we get to hear his sweet, sultry voice?
Hey, Roy. How are you?
I'm doing good.
It's been a while, my friend.
Yeah.
So sit back, relax. Enjoy some sultry sounds of Yamez squishing around on his couch. I had a couple of questions, and I don't type very well, so I thought I would pop in real quick and ask you guys. I've got to get moving here.
Sure.
But the question is, because I'm thinking seriously about ordering one of your hammers with the air assist once you get that put together. This is going to be sometime in the future, but what type of air supply would you be looking at? Are we looking at something that's going to put out cubic feet per minute or pounds per square inch? What do you think we're looking at there?
Okay. Great question. I'm glad you actually brought that up. With testing with the air assist, and I'll have this in my future video when I put it together and I talk more about it. I used a 3-gallon Harbor Freight little pancake air compressor with it, and I was able to get, I believe in the live stream, I was able to get about 20 to 40 strokes out of it before it popped on. And basically with my testing is it basically runs constant, and the air that I like to have supplied to it is about 100 psi to the actual to the air assist portion.
So this is totally workable for a home shop with a Harbor Freight air compressor. I mean, I bought one that's like a 25-gallon thing for a couple of $100 a few years ago from Harbor Freight, and I run it at 120 psi for all my power tools, and it doesn't turn on all that often. So, in between running, you could probably get a good full heat or more out of it. So, yeah, it sounds efficient.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. It basically it really sips the air. The line that's going up to it is a 1/4 inch, which they call it 6 millimeter. They're doing the metric deal, but it has 1/4 inch line that runs up to it, and the bore diameter is 1 1.25 inches, I believe, if I remember correctly. So it really sips the air, and because of the way that I designed it with a spring return up into the air, that cuts all the air that you would need to pressurize on the backstroke, to lift the hammer as well. And so it requires very little compressed air, I guess you would say, to actually get the hammer moving and to swing hard. So that's Yeah, my recommendation for air compressor for anybody who's listening is to get at least a 12-gallon air compressor and up, just because of the volume. Because it does suck up the volume of air fairly quickly.
But it will work on, basically what I'm hearing is it is designed to work on the cheapest possible model air compressor.
Yeah.
However, any upgrades to the air compressor is obviously a significant upgrade to the tooling or the tool itself.
Yeah. So the better the air compressor you have, the
more efficient
the less
run.
time the air compressor is going to have to work. Like Tim was saying there, his air compressor, he's got a 25-gallon. You said, Tim?
Yes.
Yeah. So a 25-gallon air compressor, it holds a lot more volume of air, compressed air, and so it doesn't have to cycle as much. With that little junky, again, it's a junky 3-gallon pancake air compressor from Harbor Freight that's as cheap as you can possibly get an air compressor. That will run the hammer. Although, you won't be able to sit there and just, run the treadle nonstop, right? 24/7. It's not a production thing. So
you really don't need to, though, at any home shop. I mean, seriously, if I'm working on even Damascus, if I'm making some sort of a pattern welded thing, my heats are going to last for a minute, maybe, while I'm welding. If that. I mean, that's a long heat, to be honest with you. If I could get 20 to 30 hits out of this thing with that, and then let it recompress, it would work just fine. You don't need a hammer to run endlessly unless you're making, pickets for a picket fence and you're, drawing them out to a dull red heat and they're mild steel. I mean, but that's production stuff.
Yeah.
The things that you're doing at a home shop, like you're talking about, it would be the perfect situation. The thing would recharge with air in between heats. I mean, it's got to go back in the forge, right?
Yeah.
That's all recovery time for the hammer. So this is sounding very interesting to me.
Yeah, 20 hits on a heat is plenty for the average blacksmith, unless, like you say, going into production stuff where you've got a propane forge with a stack of bar stock in it, and you were drawing each one out in one heat, and just constantly.
Again, that's more production. That's
exactly,
more production.
Exactly.
And home shop stuff.
Yeah, and to Tim's point, generally out there, people have a misconception about power hammers anyhow, or treadle hammers, is that, you have to go full bore mode 24/7. If you're going to be running one, you've got to have hot steel under it every minute, of every hour that you have that hammer. And that's just not how it works. Even in a production environment, unless you have a drop forge, situation, some drop hammer that's hitting it with a couple 100 metric tons, right? Of force. That's generally not what any of us is doing in the blacksmith shop. You take a heat, you beat it out, you get a drink of water, you let the thing come back up to heat. Takes 2, 3, 4 minutes for the piece to get back to heat where you want it, and then you go back over and hammer some more. So
between heats, you get a drink of water, talk to the live stream chat, and burn your steel.
Forget your steel in the forge.
Yeah.
Oh crap! Starting over.
Yeah. Well, so plenty of time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an ingenious idea. Kudos to you, and been keeping an eye on the channel, Roy. It's very impressive. I really love what you and Jess have done, and Godspeed. All the best to you.
Thank you, Tim. That is a huge compliment.
You guys are impressive. And I had my doubts about you in the beginning because all those Roy rants, and I wasn't sure where you were going with life, but I got to tell you, I lean on those Roy rants once in a while when I start thinking about stuff, and I'm like, it's good, buddy. It is good.
Well, I appreciate I appreciate you, Tim, and I know I, for one, sure do miss you. So
I am trying to make a comeback, although life is crazy. My company merged with another company. My predecessor, not my predecessor, a lot of my comrades, my coworkers, were lost in that, and I had to pick up a lot of extra work. So it's been and I'm I'm so old and close to retirement. I'm falling apart. My body's breaking down, but I've been pushed to the edge, and I'm doing a lot of design work. The company I work for builds Costco stores, and I've been tasked with building and designing, creating and carrying and reusable metal things to move pieces and parts around for every Costco in the world. So I have to design these things to fit on airplanes and trucks and containers so that all their products to build their building fits in a unit and then comes out at the other end. And it's been just a mind numbing task from beginning to end. And it's coming to a culmination here in about a month. So it's just taken all of my time, all my effort, and I fall asleep at night. And it seems like I wake up 5 minutes later and I'm back at work. So
yeah.
The deal. It's just when you push so hard, it's just that's so. Anyway, you guys kind of have an idea of why I haven't been around.
Yeah. Well, that mental stress can sometimes be worse than physical stress, just because you have nothing left to give at the end of the day.
That's exactly where I've been for about close to a year now. It's been a while. So. But anyway, enough about me. We're talking about treadle hammers here. Come on.
Well, I am glad to hear that you're doing all right. You're getting better, and you're chugging along there.
Yeah, I'm pushing forward, and I'll do that till the day I die. It doesn't matter.
And for those listening who don't know, and I can't imagine there are many who don't, Tim from Big Dog Forge is actually the creator of what we're doing here, the Sunday morning gathering, Blacksmiths Church, and it all started with him. Pop in a live stream and sit and chat with the chat, and so
it all started with you guys. I just hung around and turned on the TV set thing here.
Yeah.
Sully, your hair's getting long, buddy.
Oh, it sure is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've been working on that for about almost 3 years. So
awesome, man. I'm digging it.
It takes a bit of effort. That first year was horrible because there's just no way to contain it, and it just goes there. No matter what you're doing, it's like in your eyes and your face, and I'm just like,
but, a lot of hair gel.
Yeah, right. Once you're able to tie it all back or whatever, then it's like gravy.
So not to be weird here or nothing, but you're kind of cute with the ponytail through the back of the hat thing going there. I used to date a girl like that.
Oh, thank you. I do appreciate it. We're working hard at it.
There you go, buddy. Keep it up, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too, Tim. Sorry, I don't know if I missed something there, but or like last few minutes there, the boss man rolled up to give me the rundown on the parts we got coming that are still 3 hours away. And so I could have literally done this from the house on the computer and still not been late. But
who's Cletus sitting there next to you in the truck?
That's my cousin Ryan. He's my helper,
hands, buddy.
Swamper.
Your helper. Okay.
Yeah.
He can't hear this, obviously, right?
No.
He'd probably be irritated that I called him Cletus.
Right. Oh, hey, and I wanted to mention to you guys, I don't know if it's been brought up yet or not. Happy Father's Day.
Yep.
So. Happy Father's Day to you folks, too.
Yes, happy Father's Day to everyone.
Give that family a hug, Roy.
I will.
Also, I'll bring up, I don't know if Tim has heard, thanks to the immense efforts of Sully, we are now doing this as a podcast as well. So the audio is being pulled and turned into a Spotify podcast, and I believe Anchor. I'm not sure.
Yes, Spotify and Anchor.
Yeah,
I have heard this. I've checked out only a few minutes of it because I am not in a position at my workplace or really anywhere that I can listen to much of anything. It's one of
Every
those things. No, nothing in your ears. You have to be
e-
wide awake and open all the time. So
every download helps. You know,
right
um,
on.
every little bit helps. But yeah, and with that, it's like got to ask the obligatory: is it okay if we air this episode? With your voice.
Are you asking me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Certainly. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just said we have to have permission to upload somebody else's voice or whatever. I mean, like, that's not a host. So if you pop in as a guest, we just need permission to, not have to cut you out.
I'll tell you what, I'll leave it up to Roy. What do you think, Roy?
Roy already
Tim, I
gave us
think you should. Tim, I think you should charge them money for that voice.
$10,000, and then Roy's gonna get the kickback there.
Oh man,
10,000 doll hairs.
So the $10,000 that I got from Roy for doing an entire show about his treadle hammer all goes to Tim.
Yep.
There you go, and then
Yep.
75% of that'll go back to Roy.
All right, well, we'll just do this. You just send the $10,000 over to Tim over there, and just skip the middleman, because I don't want to get taxed on receiving it and then not even have it.
I think we've solved our problem. Roy, just keep it.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? It's a win-win, ain't it? All around the board.
It is.
Or at least for me. At least for me.
Awesome. Alrighty. So yeah, I don't have a problem with it. You guys do what you got to do. Even though I'm not putting out much right now, you know, I'm still part of the community, and I have no problem with that. I trust you guys. So
absolutely.
Well, thanks for touching base, Tim. It's always great to have you in. Wish you had the ability to show up every weekend and kick some butt. But yeah, well, we get busy.
Yeah, the only reason I'm really here today is because the whole Father's Day thing, and I'm just, you know what? I kicked it all to the curb. Do a little mental health day, a little relaxing. I'm sitting here petting my puppy dog, and got a new dog in the shop. Big dog's still around. We got little dog, a new little dog. The other one passed away, unfortunately, but Riley is the new one. She's a little black and white Staffordshire Terrier, or Pit Bull, as you guys would know it. And she's just the love of my life, her and Big Dog. So, yeah, hanging out with the puppy dogs today because, well, the more I get to know humans, the more I love my dogs.
I hear you.
Anyway, guys, enough about me ranting. I should probably get going. Thanks for answering my questions, Roy. Best of luck
Tim,
to you
thanks
with
for
that.
asking.
I will be keeping an eye on it, and I may end up buying one of these things from you soon. I don't know. Depends on how life treats me. I got a dog in my face.
Yeah.
Get down, puppy dog. Don't bite me.
I know my schedule for getting one is probably going to have to wait till after Quad State, because between my investments and saving up for gas to get to diesel, I will specify diesel to get to Quad State, it's going to be a bit tight for me. So,
your investments, that sounded intense.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that you got together with somebody and bought a fungible token.
Not a fungible.
A tangible function. A fungible tinction. I don't know, what is it?
I sold 4 of those yesterday. But
you stole 4 of those?
Sold 4.
They're kind of digital. How do you sell them? I want to know.
Okay, so actually, and this is something pretty neat, and actually, you can cut this out the podcast if you want, or leave it in. But what I'm doing, I'm merging crypto and blacksmithing. I am selling my forged goods and my metalwork as NFTs, where you buy the NFT and then get with me, and I ship you the actual physical item, so you get both a digital copy of the item and the physical piece. I've done it with hammers. I've done it with these little doubloon things that I'm making. I've done it with plaques that I've cut out and welded together. I've done it with quite a few things actually now, and yeah, so it's a new market for me, and I am having a blast with it. But
I am glad you're having fun with that.
Yeah.
It's way over my head, and it's digital. And when the electromagnetic bomb drops and that all goes away, I'll still be happy because I won't lose anything.
So that's where I'm set. Like I'm not relying on it, but like if while it's here, might as well make the most of it.
You know what? Don't blame me a bit.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to get by these days, and if it makes you happy, do
Yeah.
that if it's not hurting anyone else.
I mean, we are in a crazy bear market right now, but I mean, who isn't?
Bye.
Yep.
Somebody selling bears? I don't understand that statement. What's that mean? A bear market? I heard somebody about the right to keep and arm bears, but I'm not sure what that's about either.
Let's give all bears Gatling guns for arms.
Nice. Work on that.
And I mean bears the animals, not bears. Never mind. Sorry.
You know what? This has gone way off the rails.
It has gone way off the rails. All right.
We should get Treadle hammers.
Hey.
Yeah. Let's do treadle hammer arms or triaddle hammer arms, where everybody has treadle hammers for arms.
Where did you get that?
What?
You just mispronunciate it because
I do.
Irritates Sully?
Yep. Yes, that is why. It's a combination of treadle and treadle. So triaddle hammer.
Triaddle hammer.
Yeah,
sounds like a triaddle hammer where I live.
Do you know what a palakin is?
A palakin.
Yeah, it's a type of bird that has that, it swims down, catches fish in a big old, pouch under its beak.
Okay.
Sully's like, dang it.
I thought that was a pealican.
Pealican, yeah. Palakin. Okay, we are officially off the rails. Well, welcome to the end of the show.
I know what it was. The word that you always mispronounce that just drives me up the wall is guillotine.
Yeah.
Does he say guillotine?
He says guillotine, and I just go.
It's a guillotine. What? It's a French word. What's wrong with you?
Oh,
it's guillotine.
It drives me insane, and I don't.
Guillotine. We'll split the difference.
He'll be sitting there on a live stream. He's like, "I'm gonna get my guillotine tool, guillotine." And I one time he said guillotine. I was like, "Ooh, he does know how to say it."
I know how to say lots of words, right, Roy?
Oh yes, bunches. Your vocabulary is vast.
I know how to say this many words. Sorry for those listening. I flashed up my fingers. But I want to take while you're still here, Big Dog. I'd like to take advantage of that and move into since we have reached the end of the show, and I don't want to go into a 2-hour episode and have 2 super long editing sessions for Sully there for the podcast. We'll move into our final thoughts of the day, and what that is basically if you have anything you want to say to the community about either the topic or life in general, now's the time, and we'll go through the guests.
Keep going. And sometimes life gets hard and we are handed the worst. Make the best of it. Smile when you don't feel like it. Make someone else feel happy because it's important, even if you're not. It will come back around.
Very good sentiment.
Make sure that you pay attention to your friends and your family and their needs, even though you may be hurting a little bit. This is what fathers do. We hardly ever show that emotion on the surface, but we're there for family, friends, and kids. And just keep that in mind, that you're the protectors of the world and the protectors of the feelings of the individuals around you. Take them into consideration before you open your mouth, especially when you're angry or upset.
Mm-hmm.
Always temper life just a little bit, but live it to its fullest. That's all I can say, really.
Amen to that, Tim.
I miss you guys. I miss you guys a lot.
Miss you too.
Miss you.
Anyway, guys, didn't mean to bring anybody down there, but please, just hug a lot more people than you normally would. That's it.
Roger that. Roy, what do you got?
Top that.
Well, man, I'm at a loss for words. If you can believe that, no,
Holy
I can't.
cow.
I can't top Tim. There's no way. I'll say something around the treadle. There we go. Whether you buy, whether you build, have fun doing whatever it is that you're doing. There you go.
Short and sweet. Yes.
Yeah.
Sully?
Amen.
Yeah. Hey, guys and girls and everybody else in between. Enjoy the holiday, Father's Day, and if you want to sit around and do nothing, sit around and do nothing. But if you want to get out to the shop, make sure you put on your PPE. You don't want to have to take a trip to the hospital with a chunk of something sticking out of your eyeball. So be safe while you're having fun. Be safe if you're forging, and get out to the shop, build something, have fun. I'm going to sit around here all day and do nothing. So y'all should try to be more productive than me. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next week.
All right.
See ya.
And I'd like to just say thank you for all of you for hanging out and putting up with us. Big thank you to the chat. Huge thank you to the channel supporters and channel members. Huge thank you to all of the guests that have been here today. Trail Dust lurking. We've got Tim just left to go back to the chat. And thank you, big time for Roy for talking about Treadle hammers with us. It's always a pleasure doing this. I look forward to every Sunday. I may not always have a eloquent way of speaking about a topic, but dang it, I'm passionate about it. So hope to see you guys this evening at 6 p.m. I know it's Father's Day. I'm not expecting a huge turnout, but pop in and say hi during my Sunday evening live stream. And you can find me at Island Metal Forge. Google search it. You got YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all the fun stuffs. You can find Roy at Christ-Centered Ironworks. Again, just Google it. It's everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can find Tim at Big Dog Forge, and as he said, he's going to be getting back into. He's hoping to get back into doing some videos. You can find him on YouTube, Instagram, and all the fun stuff. Transcendental Artist Studios is Sully. You can find at YouTube, Instagram, and all the fun stuff. And here but not here, you have Adam from Speargrass Forge. And again, Speargrass Forge, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all the fun stuff. Check us all out. And as with the rest of the sentiment, be careful, get out there and do something, or don't. It's a holiday, sort of, like because I know somebody said it in Australia, it's not, but go be productive. Happy Father's Day, everybody. That's the show. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Catch y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.